You think you record that?
Okay, it's recording. We're going to, everybody have your notebooks out?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is, not from this definition, but from your own personal definition, what do you think an experiment is? So don't read this. I just need to know in your own words what you think an experiment, a science experiment is.
Testing, like testing things together.
Okay.
To see the experiment, what it would do.
To see what something will do?
Discovering.
Discovering, I like that. To test what something's capable of?
Yeah, that was mine.
Capable of? Then, in your own words, what's experiment?
In the project where you can work with your partner.
Okay.
And
okay. So in your own experiences, what name an experiment that you ever did in your own experience? And whether it's in school, science project, or whatnot. You go this way.
Experiment on how many bubbles you can get in dishwashing.
You actually did an experiment on that. And you can actually count that many bubbles. Oh, really? How neat.
In vape.
How cool. And Ben Simon.
I made an experiment on mold.
Wow, really?
The bacteria and the
The doctors love mold.
And the poison.
And rotten food. So how did they work out for you? Like, what was your question? What were you trying to prove, or what were you trying to find out?
Who had the most bacteria?
Oh, really? You actually did that?
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. So who was it? Are you serious, girl? Is that true? Or did he taint the evidence?
That's Nana probably is. Lord help me.
Simon?
I had a Coke bottle.
Okay.
Goodness.
Okay. Okay. What was the question, or what were you trying to find out from the experiment? Did it explode? Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Micah, did you ever do the experiment? No? You didn't do a science project?
Science project was like that. We did experiments to see how many basically all we did was take sand and stuff and mix with food colors and let it dry in the bottle.
What were you trying to find out from the experiment? What were you trying to prove, or what question were you trying to answer from the experiment?
How to make a homemade rock.
Really? Did you make a rock? Did you make the rock? Well, this year, and I can't say for the whole prior year because we are going to go into the textbook to find out what cells are, how they work, what all that nice scientific stuff. Because today and this week we're going to focus on scientific methods. And the scientific method, did you ever have to use the scientific method to what's the word? What's your project?
Yeah.
You did? Or you know what a hypothesis is? You want to go through all that stuff? Well, on the scientific experiment, the scientific method is a very detailed way to do an experiment. And it's done so that you don't have any kind of loose ends, or you don't have anything hanging, or you can always go back to your data if something fails and go and say, what did I do wrong? Or what do I do different? Or do I need to get this whole experiment all together? Okay, so can somebody give me the, what can I hear? Can somebody, well, I'll read it to you real quick, the definition of scientific method, okay? Okay. Okay. So, the scientific method is, are you ready?
Yes.
I need y'all to know what this is. Are you ready? Take your finger muscles out. Make sure you have any writer's cramp in your hand. Yep. Yep. Those right fingers up. The scientific method is a process. Y'all need to write it down?
Yes. Yes. No. Yes. No, ma'am.
A process. I know you can hardly see this, but you can stand up if you need to. A process. Of critical thinking. A process of critical thinking that uses observations and experiments Experiment. Again? What? Experiments to investigate. We have to pick up. You want me to play a plan? Okay, well, do you have hiccups? I know, do you have hiccups? Okay, why are you there playing like you have hiccups? Is that you? Don't play with your throat. We just had to talk. What do you mean your throat? You want to be a clay client. Okay, well, don't make noise with your throat. You don't want your throat, something in your throat. Because you be coughing rather than hiccuping. Get it? To investigate testable predictions about I'm going to read over again. I'll read over it. I know you can't see it. A process of critical thinking that uses observations and experiments to investigate testable predictions about the physical universe. Read it again?
No.
Everybody got it?
No. That's a scientific.
Well, then I'll read it again. This is the definition of a scientific method. The scientific method is a process of critical thinking that uses observations and experiments to investigate testable predictions about the physical universe. And you know, they tell us when we was in elementary school, There are other definitions, but for now, for time's sake, we'll just read through it, okay? Okay, so analysis, the breakdown of something that is complex. You take a person, okay? A person, you have a person, right? You shoot a person, but what is a person called?
A human being.
Called a what? An organism. You have a simple organism, and you have a complex organism. We're a complex organism. You can take us, you can break us down from a human to, we can break it down to skin. You can go down to muscles. You can go down to bones. And then from there you go out to organs. From organs you can go to cells. From cells you can go all the way deep into how the cell acts and how it makes the cell work, what makes the cell do what it does. All that. That's how you can break something down. That's called an analysis, okay? You don't make up from it. Classify. Grouping things together based on specific characteristics. What classification are we in? Human.
Organism.
Come on, you can get this for me.
Organism.
What's our classification?
Omnivore.
No, we're not omnivore unless you're a vegetarian.
Wait.
I'm sorry. No. We're Homo sapiens.
What?
Humans are called Homo sapiens.
I never heard that.
It's the classification of human beings. Homo sapiens. Dogs are, I think it's Canis. Canis something. It's not canine. It's Canis something. I'll find it. No, but Homo sapiens, it doesn't just classify us, it classifies the people, cavemen. Cavemen were actually another kind of classification. And if you ever look at any skulls, from the difference between cavemen and us today, they actually go from really big skulls. Look in cavemen skulls, you'll see really giant skulls, the brains and everything shaped different. And they go from that into being what you see now, this nice, round, skull. We can do that later on though. Control. A control. When you did experiment, did you have the control and the variable and all that?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Control is the group or subject that is used as a standard for comparison in an experiment. So the control is basically something you don't do anything to at all. Okay, so if I want to test, if I have a specific type of medicine, and I want to see whether or not this medicine will keep you awake, okay, I will have 3 groups. I will have a group where I don't give anything to them. I will have a group where I give the medicine to them. And I also have a group where I give what you call placebo. A placebo is something you give to people and they think it's medicine, but it's nothing in there. It's just water or it's just saline or something like that. But the placebo, because it's something called placebo effect. Sometimes when people, they feel like, if I just start talking about, I think a cold virus is going around. Or I think a flu virus is going around. You'll start hearing, you'll start saying, I think I feel like I'm getting a flu. I think I'm fucking getting a cold, y'all. All because we've been talking about it. So a placebo, if I give you a pill and say, okay, this pill, Kennedy, is going to help you to something. This pill is going to help you. Give me something that you want to do. Oh, this pill is going to help you to jump higher than a frog. Well, guess what's going to happen? Guess what the first thing that's going to happen? You're going to think. When I give you this pill, and I say wait 2 hours and then it'll take effect. And I say, hey, Candy, the pill should take effect by now. I say, come on, jump. You're going to feel as though you're jumping higher than ever. It's nothing there. The pill had nothing in it. But you're going to feel you're jumping higher than ever. You know why? It's a placebo effect. You feel like you're doing something, but it's not really there. It's just your mind. Your mind is a powerful thing, so your mind can make you feel like, okay, I think I am feeling better. If you have an allergy or something, you go take an allergy pill. The allergy pill may not even kicked in yet. You start feeling like, okay, feeling pretty good here. It's a placebo effect. So every time you have an experiment, you're going to have a group that's getting a placebo pill, the actual pill, and a control group who gets nothing at all. They get nothing. That's the standard. You use this group right here, you use it to compare everything else to. So if I have a person with a pill and a person with a placebo, I'll take their comparison and compare it to the actual person who had nothing at all and see if that pill helped anything at all. Or did it have no effect? And then if it has no effect, that's what I got to do. Go back to the laboratory and start over again. Data. Data is so important, y'all, when it comes to science. Every single thing you have to write down. I don't care if I'm in a laboratory and I'm studying E. coli, bacteria, and I go into the laboratory and I make a mistake and say, oh my goodness, I didn't, because when you go into the laboratory and you have utensils or your tools that you use to spread the bacteria on, if you don't burn that tool with a flame, guess what happens? It contaminates everything. So when we go into the lab, you have to watch the and write everything down. Okay, I did this. At this time, I did this. This day, I did this. You recorded everything. It seems very tedious and it seems very annoying and very boring. But what happens is, when you get your results, you can go back and say, okay, why didn't that work? This time it worked. This time it didn't. So I'm going to compare my data. Okay, this day, I made sure I disinfected everything. This day, oh man, I missed it. That's what happened. So now I'm going to go back and do the experiment again, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure I disinfect all my tools. Okay? So data, I don't care if it's numbers, I don't care if it's time, I don't care if it's seconds. We go all the way down to seconds when you're recording data. Everything I'm measuring, whether it's meters, centimeters, inches, everything, so you record absolutely everything about experiment. And I'll show you how to do that later on today, in a few minutes. Experiment, what's an experiment?
A test using observations and control variables to discover answers to questions and check a hypothesis.
Or check a hypothesis, yes. Frankenstein, what else? Experiment. I'm just thinking about some experiments you've heard of. You know, Frankenstein, he was what?
He was a robot.
He was a man that, well, of course, you know, it's not true, it's fictional, but it's a story of this mad scientist. You heard of mad scientist?
Yeah.
Who could decide that he wanted to play with life and see if he could make life, and he did. So he get all these parts and all these dead people, and he just he put them all together, and all of a sudden he created life. He said it's alive. You heard that it's alive. And Frankenstein came to life. So he was called a mad scientist because he was doing all kind of crazy experiments trying to play with life and trying to create life. Okay, so that's what experiments are. Hypothesis. A testable, you agree with me if you want to, a testable explanation for observations and questions about the physical universe. Guess what he told us a hypothesis was? You ready? You want the short definition? Hypothesis is an educated guess. Hypothesis is an educated guess. That's not really educated. See, an educated guess, you have to have a reason for saying that. So I don't just go over here and say, well, this paint is peeling because it's not good paint. I have nothing for proof of that. But if I can go here and say, well, this wall is peeling, I think this wall is peeling because the weather in this room keeps getting changed. When it gets hot and it goes that cold, it causes the paint to start to peel off. That's more educated if you have a reason for saying it. You just can't say, well, you know, oh, it's peeling, it's not good paint. I don't know what kind of paint it is. Okay. Observation, noticing objects or events using the five senses. So, you'll be surprised how many young people throughout history and even today who do experiments like this. It was one little girl, she had like around 11 years old, and she noticed she liked bacon. And she noticed that her mom would cook bacon, but every time she would cook bacon, it would all be all greasy. And it was like all this oil on it, and it was very unhealthy. And she figured, like, it's 10 or 11 years old, okay, we need to do something about this. What she did was, she just found this little tool that you put in the microwave, and that you hang the bacon pieces up on this little utensil. So you hang the bacon strips across this little thing, and when you microwave it, guess what happens? All the bacon grease drips down into this tray, and so you take the bacon out, it's not as greasy. And she invented this, became rich out of this invention. But it all kind of started from what? A what? Observation. She knows, okay, this bacon's greasy. We need to do something about it. That's all observation is. Y'all get sleepy in the middle of the day. Observation. Do something about it. You all, for the past couple of days, your journals haven't been what they should be. No, that's just an example. That's an observation. Let me just look at it. All observation is noticing something. I noticed that the sky today is grayer than it was yesterday. I wonder why. Let me do an experiment to find out why the sky will be grayer today than it was yesterday. Well, yesterday we had sunshine. Today there's no sunshine. Yesterday we had clear skies. Today we had cloudy skies. Yesterday we had no rain. Today we're going to get rain. Things like that is what causes you to start going into this thing about experiment. Okay? I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to read it to you. A variable, which is also, a variable is something that's also in the experiment, or in a scientific method. An experiment is something that can affect a system being examined, and is therefore a factor that may change in an experiment. A variable is something that you can always change. Okay, so if I want to grow a plant, and I want to see whether or not this plant can grow under certain conditions. If I use water one day and then not water the next day, then water is my variable because I changed it up. Or if I use light and not light the next day, that's my variable because I changed it up. So it's something you can change to see if you can alter the result. That's not good. Any questions? No. At all? Nothing? Nothing?
No.
All right. That's not a question you should ask. Question you should be asking about science. And don't make them up. Disney. You got to see in a few seconds. Let's read this to you. All right. Are your pencils out?
Yeah.
Good.
Not really.
Okay, I have 5 steps for you for the scientific method. Okay. Can anybody give me the steps without me saying it? Anybody?
The 5 steps. Ooh. Get out paper and no, now you're on it. You don't know.
Open it up. No. I'm talking about it's not it.
Ooh, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it. I'm talking to you.
Oh, the seven.
Yeah, fine.
What is that?
Are you ready to write? Okay. Oh, is that what it is?
I don't. So what? The top of that. 60. Now I'm just going to sit. You don't need to have a drink to be area.
Okay, ready? These are 5 steps.
No, ma'am. No. I'm ready. waiting on Mike and Tim's right now.
We're going to add one more step because I see that they've added one more step. So we're going to just add, put 6 steps. Come on, Mike. I read them too. Which one you writing down?
The last one.
This one? Right here? A process of critical thinking. You got that? That uses observation.
That's what I asked.
No, I'm not showing her.